Thank you, Jim. I got to tell you, Jim, I'm impressed. I couldn't have written that better myself. Did we remember to silence our cell phones? It's that cute little reminder. Isn't that embarrassing? Who's never done that, by the way? Had your cell phone go off? You don't have a cell phone, do you? That might be mine. There are 3 things that are necessary to be successful in life, in my humble opinion. You need a wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone. And there's an Irish proverb that I meant to commit to memory. I know I've got most of it right. A good night's sleep and a good hearty laugh will cure most of the ills that beset us. Something to that effect. Now, I absolutely believe that. We don't sleep enough as a nation, and we don't laugh enough. I'm not going to help you with the sleep. You are not going to sleep tonight. One of my heroes is Zig Ziglar. May he rest in peace. Zig Ziglar used to say he was kind of like the cross-eyed discus thrower. He didn't set records, but he did keep the crowd alert. That's my objective for this evening. Got to tell you, we are all so different and yet so alike. Let me prove to you how we're alike. Right thumb, hold it up. Left forefinger, stick it out, not in your neighbor's eye. Now, you are a talented group of people, I can tell that already. Now what we're going to do, we're going to switch that. We're going to do left thumb, right forefinger. See how coordinated we are? We can do this. Now we're going to switch them quickly. Go. Duh. Isn't that the funniest feeling? No, I got a funnier one for you. Take your right arm, do a 6. Big 6 in the air. Big 6. All right, good talented group of people. Now, don't kick anybody and don't fall out of your chair, but with your right foot, that's enough with the hand. With your right foot, do a 9. Big 9. Big 9. All right, so you know you can do that. Now, do them both at the same time. Yeah, I don't think so. Isn't that the funniest feeling? You know you can do it, but your brain says no. Here's one more. Take your middle finger, bend it, so that the knuckle is together. So your 3 fingers and thumb are touching at the tips. Your middle is bent right in the middle. So now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the thumb, and I'm going to count to 3. We're going to separate the thumb. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, look at us. I'd have you clap, but you can't because your hands are together. We're going to do the same with the pinky. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. All right, good at. Now, going to do the forefinger. That's the first one. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. All right, we got one last one. We're going to do the ring finger. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Isn't that the funniest? Can anybody do it? I've never met anybody. Keep your knuckle totally together. I've never met anybody who can do it. You're a blessed woman.
I'm a musician.
We are so similar in so many ways, even though we are so different as well. Let me show you some other ways that we're so much alike. The average preschooler laughs or smiles, throw out a guess, how many times a day? 150, that's not a bad guess. I'd go higher. 500, now you're too high. So somewhere between, and I don't know who watches little children and counts. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The estimate is, what do you got? 250? Sold. 400 times a day. I've heard some studies that say 300. That won me a trivia contest on KNMI radio a bunch of years ago. Children do this, they said 300 times a day. Adults, they said less than 12. And I said, it's got to be laughed. This study that I saw says by the time we reach 35, it's down to 15 times a day. Isn't that sad? I'm serious. You people grew up. What'd you do that for? People ask me, where did you grow up? I say, I'm trying to do it in Farmington, New Mexico. I stole that line from a lady who's not here anymore, so I could, she's alive, but I can use it because she's not here. People think they smile a lot. Some research studies say that we actually, in reality, smile about 35% of the time that we think we do. Laughter releases endorphins, a chemical, you ready for this? 10 times more powerful than the pain-relieving drug morphine. I had knee surgery some years back. I became a big fan of morphine. I don't want to make a regular diet of it. But boy, when it's necessary, it's a good thing. I should have been laughing right along with that, and I didn't know it. Laughter injects this pain-relieving chemical into the body with the same exhilarating effect as doing strenuous exercise. Some of you don't like to work out. That's okay. Laugh more. Every time you laugh, a good hearty laugh, you burn up how many calories? I won't have you guess because you guessed too high. I told you guessed too high. 3.5. 3.5 calories. And I'm not talking I'm talking goofy bunch of people you are. Laughing increases oxygen intake, thereby replenishing and invigorating cells. It also increases the pain threshold, boosts immunity, and relieves stress. Folks, laughter is a good thing. Am I making the case that laughter is good for us? And I'm telling you, we don't do it enough. What else can laughter do? It can lower your blood pressure. Laughter can lower blood pressure. And in an audience this size, some of you are on blood pressure medication. Stay on it. Dr. Ron is not in the house telling you to get off your medication. I would never say that. In fact, I got a formal disclaimer coming up. But laughter can lower blood pressure. What else can it do? It can reduce certain stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. Now we need those in our system from time to time when they're needed. Fight or flight, those kind of things. But if they're in our system unnecessary, they can cause problems, serious problems. It can give a workout to the diaphragm and abdominal, respiratory, facial, leg, and back muscles. Have you ever heard the expression, I laughed so hard my sides hurt? Yes. Have you had that happen to you?
Yes.
The reason is you are engaging muscles to the point where they haven't been engaged before, and you hurt as a result. Now, it doesn't last long, and it's worth it. But it's good exercise. What else can laughter do? Increase the response of tumor and disease-killing cells such as gamma, interferon, and T cells. I wonder how many people are not here tonight because they're at home with the flu or the crud that's going around. And I'm not saying otherwise they would be here. Thank you for coming, by the way. I had it in my mind that 5 people were going to show up, so thank you. But seriously, in this cold season, Dr. Burns, we might turn to you later to see if I'm in error on any of these things. But it can help you to fight off infection. It can defend against respiratory infections, even reducing the frequency of colds by immunoglobulin in saliva. Laughter is good stuff. Oh, I love this one. It can increase memory and learning. A study at Johns Hopkins University Medical School, humor during instruction led to increased test scores. I don't know if this was where they did this or not, but someplace they took 2 groups of people, just like if we divided the room randomly in half. And we said to this group, okay, you go into that room right over there, and you're going to find a table, and you're going to find some items on the table, put it together in whatever way you think is appropriate. All right, you folks, come on over here. We're going to put you in this room. You're going to laugh. We're going to have you laughing for 15 minutes, a half an hour. I never let facts get in the way of a good story, but they had them laugh. And then they said, okay, go in that room. You'll find some items on the table. Put it together in whatever way you think is appropriate. They did it about half the time. They did it in about half the time. So some of us are at the age where memory is, how do I put this? Let's laugh more. Let's laugh more and see if our memory doesn't come back. By the way, this is out of script, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I started doing Rosetta Stone Spanish. I have no idea if I will ever communicate with a Spanish speaker in my life. But I'm telling you, my memory is getting sharper. And you've heard that before. If you learn something new, if you learn to play an instrument or something, it frees up brain space or something. It's good stuff. Laughter does the same thing. It improves alertness, creativity, and memory. Folks, have I made the case that laughter is a good medicine. Thank you. So we can move on. Here's the disclaimer. Please don't walk out and say, you know what, I can throw all my medications away. I can fire my doctor. I'm just going to laugh, laugh, laugh. No. Don't do that. Be reasonable. Come on. But why not add laughter? There's a guy named Norman Cousins. Anybody recognize the name Norman Cousins? He wrote the book, Anatomy of an Illness. And if you can pronounce the illness that he had, I will bow down to you. It was some 20-syllable word. It was a rare ailment, and it was going to kill him. And he heard somewhere that laughter is a good medicine. And so he started laughing. He forced himself to laugh on a regular basis. And he laughed himself back to health. Am I telling the truth? Anatomy of an Illness. I think he finally did succumb to something else, and he's not with us anymore. But there's power in laughter. So stay on your meds. Don't go off just because I said you should. Please. But add laughter to your regimen. Now, some of you might not know what laughter is. That's okay. That's okay. Just before we get started here, let's make sure we all know what laughter is.
Andrew placed the ring on Melissa's hand.
Repeat after me.
I, Andrew Paul Daniel Engstrom.
I'm going to put it on the wrong way.
Not going to put it on the wrong way, he said.
I, Andrew Paul Daniel Engstrom.
I, Andrew Paul Daniel Engstrom,
Do take Melissa Renee Warren
do take Melissa Renee Warren
to be my lawfully wedded wife.
to be my lawfully
It's all over now, folks.
pancakey. I've been scared of this all my life. Just give her a second.
I, Andrew Paul.
I'll take a recess.
How many have seen that before? Oh, not too many. Good. It's called Lawfully Wedded Wife. Lawfully Wedded Wife. It's on YouTube. I'm going to double dog dare you to watch that at the start of every day. Or at the end of every day. Or both. And if you can watch that and not laugh, I will pay for your therapy. Because you need help. Lawfully wedded wife. Laughter can be found in so many ways and from so many different sources. One in particular that I like is... Oh, no problem. Thanks, sir. Apparently, let me see, there's a 1997 lime green Chevy Chevette, New Mexico license plate KFW 947 in the parking lot. Apparently there's nothing wrong, it's just so stinking ugly the management would like it moved off the premise. If that's your car, if you would be kind enough to move it, we'd appreciate it. Thanks, Ed. There are some funny videos out there. Let me show you a couple of my favorites. take our picture, please? We're just going to cross the way. Smile real pretty. Oh, wait a minute. Who are these guys? That's what he wants to know. This guy's got a great look to here. They show you how they do it. Watch. The girls get in, these guys pop up. They will walk to one side. No, that's us. Look. This lady is going to go to therapy. Let me give you a warning. How many any Candy Camera fans? I bought a box set, 60 years of Candy Camera, back when they used to be funny. Some of you know what I mean by that. This is sort of the Candy Camera of our day. I'm going to show you one more. They catch people. They set people up like Candy Camera used to do. Don't watch it with kids until you know you've checked it out first. No, some of them they're just not appropriate. Sorry, you're my bud, but you're not watching some of them. I mean, it's not dreadful, it's not X, but it's no. But some of them are Sarah. So go to Gags TV and check some out if you like. Here's one more. Hey, would you like to hit a pinata? See what you can win? Okay, can you see anything? No? Okay. Sure? Okay, let's go. Minor technicality, we'll just take the pinata out of there. We'll just spin you around. Don't lip read. Now watch her try to explain this one. Again, they've got so many more, and I'll just sit down and I'll just watch a bunch of them and just laugh. And I'm telling you folks, I'm living proof that laughter is good. I went to the doc just a couple of weeks ago. He said, Ron, you are in great shape for a man of 76. I said, Doc, I'm only 66. He said, you're a wreck. But I do feel young, and I'm convinced that laughter is a huge part of it. Like I said, you folks grew up. I never did. This has nothing to do with anything, but I think it's funny. If you are drinking to forget, please pay in advance. Okay. Another great source of humor, of laughter, is emails. How many of you get stupid emails? What? People have too much time on their hands, don't they? But how many of you get good emails? Hey, that was good. And you can't really share it right at the moment for whatever reason. I was showing Jim Baker, I was on the show this morning. I've got a file called Wit and Humor. And I'm not exaggerating, it's about that thick. If I get one, I'll print it off and I'll put it in there because I can use that someday. Even if it's just for my own benefit, just to read. Oh yeah. I'll show you one today that I hadn't seen in a while. I put it in here for you. I got another one on inspirations. Inspirational thoughts, don't lose those. I have an electronic file also. Just move them over, don't lose those. Share them with some people, keep them for yourself, and revisit from time to time. Rene Descartes, the famous philosopher, said, I think, therefore I am. Scott Adams said, I get email. Therefore, I am. So, Different categories of emails. Jim Baker, by the way, my friend, is the punniest man I know. So this is for him and the rest of you. A good pun, by the way, is its own reword. Did you hear that the Energizer Bunny was arrested? He was charged with battery. You do know, of course, that a pessimist blood type, they always have the same blood type, B negative. Do you know that a Freudian slip is when you say one thing but you mean your mother? I scored on that one. Thank you, Tucky. Does the name Pavlov ring a bell? How about a gossip is someone with a good sense of rumor? You better quit laughing because I'm going to keep going. You know why a bicycle can't stand on its own? Because it's too tired. What's the definition of a will? Come on, Mr. Lawyer. Oh, come on, it's a dead giveaway. I can't believe people are laughing at these. Do you know that a lot of money is tainted? It taint yours and it taint mine. Okay, that's oh, wait a minute. Here's some more. A fool and his money is some party. What if you get scared half to death twice? Okay, that's enough. Oh no, wait a minute. Two antennas met on a roof. They fell in love and they got married. The ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was excellent. See, one of the nice things about doing this, if you don't have any reputation to protect, and you have no shame, you can do things like this. A jumper cable walked into a restaurant. The waiter said, "I'll serve you, but don't start anything." Two cannibals are eating a clown. One says to the other, "Does this taste funny to you?" Okay. Oh yeah, ponderisms. Ponderisms. Kind of like puns, but longer. Health nuts are going to feel real stupid someday, lying in hospitals, dying of nothing. Why do we drive on parkways and park on driveways? You ever wonder that? Why do psychics have to ask you your name? Who was the first person? I shouldn't do it. It's not that funny. Who was the first person to look at a cow and say, "I think I'll squeeze those dangly things and drink whatever comes out"? If Jimmy cracks corn and no one cares, why is there a song about him? If corn oil is made from corn and vegetable oil is made from vegetables, what is baby oil made from? Oh, stop it. These are jokes. You know, Jim and Kay Baker were humanitarians of the year last century. Well, he said, I've been in business that long. Actually, I've been in business since last millennium. If vegetarians eat vegetables, what do humanitarians eat? Will you stop that? Puns and ponderisms just kind of make you say, huh? Church bulletins. Actual excerpts from church bulletins. Don't let worry kill you, let the church help. Thursday night, potluck supper, prayer and medication to follow. For those of you who have children and don't know it, we have a nursery downstairs. This, this afternoon, there will be a meeting in the south and north ends of the church. Children will be baptized at both ends. Tuesday at 4 p.m., there will be an ice cream social. All ladies giving milk, please come early. I didn't make these up. This being Easter Sunday, we will ask Mrs. Lewis to come forward and lay an egg on the altar. Oh, I hope I can get through this next one. Next Sunday, a special collection will be taken to defray the cost of the new carpet. All those wishing to do something on the new carpet will come forward and get a piece of paper. Pastor is on vacation. Massages can be given to the church secretary. The senior choir invites any member of the congregation who enjoys sinning to join the choir. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh, this is one of my favorite jokes of all time. Any Catholics in the room? I know we have some Catholics here. Be proud. This mom had 2 boys, and they were trouble. They were just trouble. And finally, she had it with them. She said, "I'm taking you to the priest." Ooh, that put fear into them. It did. And so they go down, and the priest looks at the older boy, the younger boy, and he says, "You sit here." He says to the older boy, "You come with me." And he brings him into his office. He sits down, he looks at him, he says, "Young man, do you know where God is?" The boy starts to shake. The priest said, "Young man, I'm asking you again. Do you know where God is?" He starts to break out in a sweat. The priest says, "Young man, I'm going to ask you for the last time. Do you know where God is?" At that point, the kid jumps up, runs out of the room, grabs his brother and says, "Come on, we got to get out of here." His brother said, "Why? What's up?" He said, "It's worse than we thought. God's missing and they think we took him." I got to speak at a diaconate, Region 21 diaconate. I told the room that it was delightful. I got to tell you this too, because this just came to my mind. We have some Navajo folks here tonight. Thank you for coming. You don't mind if I tell my favorite Navajo joke, I hope, because I'm going to anyway. A Navajo fella bumps into a Japanese fella, and he says to him, "Yate abene." And the Japanese man said, "Excuse me?" And the Navajo fella said, "I said, Yate abene." And the Japanese man said, "I'm sorry, sir, but I just don't understand you." The Navajo fellow said, "Good, the code still works." I was in this very room, the room was packed, 200 and some Navajo educators. And I came out and I said, "Oh, folks, real quick, let me just get this out of the way. I got to tell you my favorite Navajo joke." And they're looking at me like, "Where's this Bill gonna go and tell the Navajo joke?" And when I got to the punchline, the whole room erupted. It was a thing of beauty. Warmed my heart. Folks, we don't laugh enough. If you don't know what laughter looks like, this is what it looks like. I love that picture. So, videos, emails, look out. Marriage and relationships. And Lynn Ann, we're going to 10:30. I'll shut the lights off. I'll be the last one. You know, there are a lot of jokes about marriage and relationships, and I don't think any of them are funny. For instance, somebody said that married men live longer than non-married men. Other people think it just seems that way. I I don't think that's funny. Some people say that one gender is more complicated, more complex than the other. I don't know if I buy that. Here's one person's illustration of men at the top and women at the bottom. I'll just let you make your own judgment on that. One thing that I know, I am a marriage coach. I'm a relationship coach in my daytime when I'm not on stage making a fool of myself. Couples don't spend enough time together. And in the hectic pace of life, we get busy. We got jobs to do and kids to raise and things to do. So couples need to get creative, looking for ways to spend some extra time together. I don't think they sold a lot of those. Oh, this next one's not funny at all. Yeah, that's husband down in aisle 5. It happened at Smith's Grocery, I'm thinking 2 or 3 years ago now. Again, I can't remember. My memory is just not what it used to. But apparently what the story was, this couple was shopping, and they went down to the aisle that sells alcohol. And the guy grabs a 24-can case of Budweiser, and he puts it in the cart. And his wife said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, it's 24 cans of Budweiser. It's only $10. It's a great deal." She said, "You don't need it. We can't afford it. You put it back right now." So he puts it back. Well, they keep shopping. They get over to aisle 5. And the wife grabs a jar of cold cream or something like that. She puts it in the cart. He says, "What are you doing?" She said, "It's cold cream. It's only $20, and it makes me look beautiful." The guy says, "So do 24 cans of Budweiser, and it's half the price." Shame on you for laughing at that. You sick people, you.
It's just the women that's doing it.
What did I miss?
It's just the women that were laughing.
That's right, just the women, that's right. The men didn't think it was funny at all. And this also illustrates that men and women communicate differently. If this were church, I'd ask for an amen to that. And not always effectively. So men, pay attention. There's a lesson in this for you, okay? If I remember to start the video, there's a lesson in this for you.
It's just, there's all this pressure, And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me. And I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head. And it's relentless. And I don't know if it's going to stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me most, is that I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
Yeah. You do have a nail in your head.
It is not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I'll bet if we got that out of there.
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just, the nail is causing.
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
See, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail
See, you're
out.
not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just, sometimes it's like, there's this achy, I don't know what it is. I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. All of them.
That is really hard.
Yes. Thank you. Ow!
Come on. If you would just...
Don't.
It's not about the man. Videos, emails, marriage and relationships. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the greatest sources of laughter is ourselves. And if you have not yet learned to laugh at yourself, I'm telling you, you're missing out. I'm just going to tell you right now. Who knows what this is? They pay you pay them, I should say, $70-some, I think. This is not part of the national park. It's west of the of the national park, but you pay like $70 to walk out on this thing. It's all glass. You're looking down into the canyon. I have hiked the Grand Canyon 5 times, rim to rim once, and a few other times. I'm not doing that. But one particular time, I hiked the Grand Canyon with my friends Randy and Don. And if I forget where that remote is, would somebody remind me? And if I ask you where my glasses are, would you? Randy and Don and I were hiking the Grand Canyon. We did the Hermit Trail. Hermit Trail is a wonderful trail to do, although we did it a few years ago, Doug. It had been 15 years since I had last hiked it. Incredible how much that trail had changed over those 15 years. You wouldn't have thought it would change that much. We hiked the Grand Canyon. Actually, that one, we went down the Hermit Trail. We did the loop. We went across the Tonto. We came out the Bright Angel. It was like a 30-mile trip, I think, spread out over a few days. We camped along the way. And you get to the top. And has anybody hiked the Grand Canyon before? A few of you? By the way, I want to know this, too. How many of you are not going to raise your hand no matter what question I ask? Okay, thank you, Jeannie. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your honesty. Where was I was in the Grand Canyon. So when you get out of the Grand Canyon, those of you who have been there, you know what I'm talking about. You do the canyon shuffle. Let me demonstrate the canyon shuffle. Your feet are not coming any higher up than that. Bruce, am I right? You were on that trip as well. Well, that's another story, isn't it? I won't tell that one. You get out of the canyon, you're hot, you stink. You're all sweaty and dirty. And all I wanted to do was hit the showers. I know that they have these coin-operated showers at the Grand Canyon. I didn't remember how much they cost. I knew they were quarters, but I didn't know how long. So I got $5 worth of quarters. I wasn't taking any change. So we drive over to where the showers are. And Randy and I, we just scoop right on in. Don is a neat freak. Don has to put everything away. Some of you might be that way. That's all right. I said, you're crazy. I'm going in. As it turns out, 50 cents is like 5 minutes. It's not a bad deal. And I had showered, I had lathered up, I had rinsed off, but I put in another 50 cents because it felt so good. And I'm just bent over and the water's hitting my back. Oh, it feels so good. And just then I noticed Don's legs in the next stall. He had come in while I was showering. So Don's my friend. I just spent 3 or 4 days in the canyon with him. I just reach under that divider. I pinch him right away. Don't get ahead of me. 30 seconds later, Don calls out, hey, Randy, do you want your keys? Because we were in Randy's vehicle and Don had the keys. Well, I knew 2 things right off the bat. Yes, it was Don's voice. No, it was not coming from that next stall. I tell that story and people say, well, who was it? I didn't stick around to find out. I set the Guinness World Record for shutting off a shower, toweling, dressing, drying, and booking it out of a place we never seen. A lot of foreigners at the Grand Canyon. I mean, no disrespect. That's a good thing. They come to visit. But I've always pictured some guy going, oh, these crazy Americans, what do? They pitch you in the shower. I don't know. If you haven't learned to laugh at yourself, folks, you're missing out. And I'm going to tell you right now, off the subject, but there's a book called Daring Greatly. I was just talking to a friend of mine about this today, a lady named Brené Brown, Daring Greatly. She talks about embrace your vulnerability. We go through life trying to pretend that we got it all together because we're afraid, what if somebody saw the real me, then what would happen? Folks, we already know you're a mess up. You're not keeping it secret. Embrace your vulnerability. Laugh at yourself. Yeah, I got time. I was a probation parole officer here in Farmington for 9 years. In fact, let me quickly scan the room. Ma'am, can I see your profile, please? Let me see your thumbprint. Probation parole officer. And I was on call. This is back when we had beepers, pagers, remember that? I was on call every 6 weeks, 7 weeks, or something, I can't remember. But we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment here in town that I had converted into a 1-bedroom apartment because the other room was just full of boxes. You know what I'm talking about, some of you. And most of the boxes were books. They were mostly books. I schlepped all these books around that I'm never going to read. So I said, this is stupid. I'm going to set up some bookshelves. I'm going to empty those boxes, put them on the bookshelves, set up a bed, so if company wants to come, we can have a spare bedroom. Or if my wife gets mad enough at me, I can go sleep somewhere else. Well, this is being recorded, isn't it? Honey, you wouldn't do that. I know you wouldn't. You love me and I love you. Okay. So that's what I do. I set up these bookshelves. I went to the store and I got the brackets and I got the screws and I got the boards and I set them up and I stepped back and I said, Christ, you're good. You're good. I mean, it was a thing of beauty. And so I started getting the books and I put them on there and I had a full bookcase of books. I just looked at that and went, well, all right. And I went away. And the next morning I came in to admire my handiwork and there it was all over the floor. How many of you know that when you put brackets into a sheetrock, you gotta use things to anchor it? How many of you know that? Where were you when I needed you? I got so many anchors. Those are the sturdiest shells. The second time. Oh, but I forgot this part of the story. So we get it set up. We set up a bed, and I said, let's try it out. You know, we might have company. Let's make sure it's comfortable and all. So we sleep in the room, and don't you know, the phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I jump out of bed and run smack into the wall. And I reorient, you know, come on, 2 o'clock in the morning, sound sleep, and I go the other way and I bump smack into that wall. At which point my wife says, Ron, the phone's in the other room. To which I replied, I know. Where's the other room? You have my permission to laugh at yourself. Please do, and share it. You don't have to go on Jim Baker's radio program and tell everybody your deepest, darkest, most hidden, embarrassing moments. But you know what? Let's share those with each other. Let's laugh with each other, not laugh at each other. There's a difference, isn't there? All right, let's see what's next. Oh, yeah. I personally don't believe in reincarnation, but then again, I didn't believe in it when I was a hamster either. Has nothing to do with anything. I just think that's funny. Now, not all days are going to be good days. Okay, this is the one that's a little loud, by the way. Get ready, please. You can laugh and laugh and laugh and still have some bad days. I mean, bad things happen, and I'm not saying you can just laugh away all your troubles. Please, don't take it too far. Not all days are good days. Did I tell you that not all days will be good days? Some final thoughts, because I did promise to have you out of here by 9:30. I didn't say what time zone. We'll be out here by 8 o'clock. Look for the funny in life. If you look for it, I'm telling you, it's there. And again, it's not my place to preach to you or tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. But folks, I don't start my day watching the news anymore. I just don't do it. I'll find out eventually what terrible, rotten, horrible, lousy things happened, and I need to be aware. But I don't start my day with the news. And I'll watch the evening news for half an hour, and that's it. That's enough. That's enough. I used to watch a couple of them to see what different stories. That's enough. For me, you don't have to do it. But let's look for the funny. Let's make a conscious effort to find the funny in life. This was an article in our own Daily Times. Now, this isn't funny at all. That's not funny. Smoothie poisoner is charged with attempted murder. This is not a funny story. Don't laugh at that. Salt Lake City, a woman was being held on an attempted murder charge after police say she spiked her roommate's peach smoothie with antifreeze. That's not funny. Here's what's funny. We have a sale on smoothies. You can't make this stuff up. I sent that into James. I know. Do you remember headlines on Mondays? Oh, they were funny. Some of them were hysterical. I sent that in. I don't know if it ever made it or not, but look for the funny. I went to the University of Rhode Island. Let me see. Is it over there? It's a long ways away from here. And one day, I was in a building, and I was waiting for the elevator, and I happened to notice the sign that you've seen all your life. In case of fire, do not use elevator. Somebody wrote on there, use water. Funny things happen in New England. They just do. They win Super Bowls. At the University of Rhode Island, my alma mater. We put ours in and we take ours out. Isn't that what we do? We pa-ka-ka or something. I walked by the water fountain and it wasn't functioning. And I knew that because there was a sign that said, out of order. And then I came by a few minutes later and somebody made the sign even a little more accurate by adding a W. Out of water. I should probably take that one out. Look for the funny in life. Spend time with humorous books. Jim Baker gave me a book today, and I bought it.
I loaned it to you.
Yeah, I know. This is called The Ultimate Handbook of Jokes for Coaches, Leaders, and Speakers. If you'd like to borrow this from me, I can lend it to you. My niece married a guy who's unemployed. At the wedding, everyone threw food stamps. I haven't found one yet that wasn't funny. Let me see. The hotel was well managed. In the picture postcard of the hotel rooms, the beds weren't even made. Oh, it wasn't well managed. One hospital has a new operating room with a sand trap so the doctors can operate in familiar surroundings. Sorry, Bob, I didn't know it was in there. There's others. There's others. Laugh. Spend your time forcing yourself to laugh. By the way, true story, true. I am a CLL. I am a certified laugh leader. There's an organization called the World Laughter Tour. A guy named Steve Wilson, and I went down to Phoenix and did a 2-day training so that I can lead laughter clubs. They have clubs around the nation. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't fit for me, but they have clubs. They just get together and they laugh. They have different types of laugh. And that's all you do. They don't tell jokes. They don't tell funny stories. They say, we're going to do the lawnmower laugh. We're going to do the helicopter laugh. I'm telling you, that's what they do. By the way, I went through Payson. How many of you know that there's a speed camera on the other side of Payson? Why didn't you tell me that? I got the prettiest picture of me in the mail. I don't think I'd have paid $210 if I went to the studio. But I am. I'm a certified laugh leader, and I just love to laugh. And I hope I've encouraged you tonight to laugh more. Read the comics. Frank and Ernest is my favorite. They took it out of the daily, but it's still on Sunday. I never knew who was who. I don't know who's Frank and who's Ernest. But one of them walked into the bookstore. This is my favorite comic strip of all time. He walked into the bookstore and he asked the attendant, do you have that book, How to Stop Buying Self-Help Books? Volume 7? Read the comics and share them. Share them at work. I do a workshop called Humor, Fun, and Laughter in the Workplace. This is a shameless plug, but I talk about how you ought to have a bulletin board people can bring in. comics and share them. Let's laugh together. We bond together. We join together. I'm thinking of writing Congress, but that's a different story. Develop the habit of laughing freely. You can do it. You don't worry if anybody's around. In fact, do it when nobody's around. Do it right now for me. Come on, just laugh. That's enough. That's healthy for you. You're exercising. You're increasing circulation. You Google health benefits of laughter. By the way, it's a science called, anybody know? Gelotology. Gelotology. The study of the health benefits of laughter. Gelato? Look it up. Develop the habit of laughing freely. And lastly, for real, in the words of the most interesting man in the world, stay laughing, my friends. And with that, I bid you the end, and I think there's just one thing left for us to do. Hey, let me share one last thing with you real quick. I'm getting more comfortable saying that I'm an author. This is not something that I've been comfortable with. I've been wanting for 30 years to write a book. I finally did it. Came out with a 9-chapter ebook. What does that say in the upper right corner? Number 1. I made it to number 1 on Amazon. I sold it for 99 cents. I got enough of my friends and relatives to buy it at the same time. I think I made $37.50 that day. But I can legitimately say in 3 categories I was the number 1 bestseller. So then I expanded it into a paperback called Play Nice in Your Sandbox at Work. It's a model. It's 4 steps to prevent conflict. That's the play portion. 4 ways to resolve conflict that's too important to just brush aside. I'm going to be out there greeting you folks. I brought some books. Lynn Ann said it was all right if I sold them. They sell on Amazon for $19.99. I sell them for $14.95. Throw in a buck for tax if you don't mind, but I can take cash, check, or charge. If it's something you're interested in, no pressure, but I'd love to do that. This book here I'm going to be selling also. With that, folks, again, you've been a great audience. Give yourselves a hand, would you please? Thank you so much.